Ladies and gentlemen, how we feeling? You know who it is. It's your man DJ E-Rock from the basement. And this conversation's a little bit different. And I'd like to say that it has a lot of purpose. It has a lot of meaning to it. And me being a native San Franciscan, born and raised right there, 42nd and Uloa. My grandparents still live in the Sunset. I feel like, hey, I was so compelled by the conversations that this man has been having and the the positive energy that he's been bringing to the campaign trail that, you know what? We got to have this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, San Francisco mayoral candidate Daniel Lurie is in the building with us right now. How are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great, Erock. I really appreciate you having me on. I appreciate what you do for our community, and I'm optimistic about our city. That's why I jumped in, and you know this, I know this, your listeners know this. When San Francisco's at its best, we're the greatest city in the world,
And
and
I
we
agree.
and we're not there right now, but we will get back there. It's just going to take hard work and accountable leadership, and maybe Christian McCaffrey.
Oh man, a little bit of Brandon Ayuk in there now too after this
Oh
past
God.
weekend. Oh, that
So
was
I feel
heartbreaking.
devastated for him. And we got Debo in the hospital. I hope he's feeling better.
Sending well wishes to Debo. Yes.
Ricky, I mean, that what a miraculous story. I'm so happy he's okay. But man, the Niners have taken some blows this year.
Yeah, they definitely have. But you know what? There's one thing that I will say that the Niners are very great at, and that is being resilient.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And I feel like that is the epitome of our city. That is the epitome of San Francisco. We are a very resilient city. Um, you touched
Hero,
the
you
go ahead.
you said that. You said it right. No one, everybody doubts us right now. Everyone around the country, around the world, they doubt San Francisco. They say we can't do this. You just said it right. We're resilient. We are strong. And we are capable.
Absolutely. You touched upon this a second ago about how the city isn't where it used to be. And I hear that, you know, that sentiment echoed amongst my peers. That San Francisco or the San Francisco that they grew up in doesn't exist today.
Yep.
What do you say to those who have spent their lives in the city working hard to open businesses, buy homes, raise their families, only to feel that these dreams are becoming increasingly unattainable in today's state of the city?
E-Rock, I was at the night market on Irving Street, end of September. I came upon a couple, a woman, and they were. She said she was born and raised here, and her 2 year old. They were pushing their kid in a stroller, and she said something. It was the most powerful thing I've heard on the campaign trail in 13 months. She said, "Daniel, I love this city, but the city doesn't love me back." And what I got from that was that, City Hall and our elected leaders and our political class, they forgot why they're there. And they're there to serve the people. And I'm never going to forget that. Like, we have to make it easier for small businesses to get up and running. We need to cut the fees. We need to cut the time it costs to go through all the permitting. And we have to remember, as public servants, why we're there. And starting January 8th, your listeners should know that my administration is going to be in the business of making it easier for people and young families to stay in our city. I'm tired of the lack of public safety, the lack of affordability. Our public schools are not where they need to be. And so we got young families fleeing our city. And we need a mayor, we need elected officials thinking, how can I best serve the people again? And that's going to be my orientation as your mayor.
Um, I've heard it, countless times, and I love the fact that you echo it every time that you have conversations like this. But your number one priority is public safety.
Yes, sir.
I've grown up in the city. I've been able to walk around that city and feel safe, like in my youth. It's a little bit different right now, but with that being a top concern for many residents, what specific policies or programs will you implement to address and improve public safety today?
Yeah, so let me be very clear. We have always been around 2,000 police officers. We're down below 1,500. And you brought up, Outer Sunset. I did a ride along with Taravel Police a few weeks ago. In 2018, there was 110 officers at that station. Today, there are 53. Um,
Oh my God.
yeah, I was out.
Wow.
I was out with an officer that is supposed to be out walking the beat on Ocean Avenue, getting to know the merchants, understanding the needs of that commercial corridor. He says he is able to get out there once every 2 weeks instead of every day because he's got to be out on patrol responding to 911 calls. So I always say we need a fully staffed police department. We need to get officers and our firefighters out of the business of being homeless outreach workers and mental health counselors and back being public servants and walking the beat, getting to know neighborhoods, community policing in its truest sense. Not we. I don't want to go. I don't want over policing. I just want police officers that look like the neighborhoods that they're serving, speak the language of the communities that they serve, and get back to a place where you're a small business owner. You know the officer's name, so you can call them. You can tell them your concerns. Right now, people think that they can come to San Francisco and get away with crime because they can. They can run red lights. They can run stop signs with abandon because there's just not enough police presence. Now, we always need police oversight. We always need to make sure we're going to hold all departments accountable. But I also am going to have the backs of our law enforcement officers. They need to know that City Hall will support them in their efforts to keep our communities safe. And so that's my commitment. Public safety, number one priority for our young families, our elders, and maybe I'll stop there.
San Francisco's economy, especially its downtown core, has taken a pretty big hit, especially, due to the pandemic. A lot of people are working remotely, they're staying home. We touched upon public safety, homelessness. What will you do to revitalize the city's economy?
Yeah. I mean, downtown has been struggling for a while. People don't feel safe coming down there. That's the bottom line. They don't want to go park. They're worried about their car getting broken into. They're worried about the behavioral health crisis and the open air drug markets,
It's a
right?
commitment. It's a true commitment. If you live in like Walnut Creek or something like that, and you want to come to the city, and you have to think about all these new variables and all these new factors. Like, do I really want to deal with that? But
That's right.
even locally, for people that live there, it's a lot.
We got people that live in San Francisco and say, I'm going to go shop in Walnut Creek. I'm going to go to Santana Row. I'm going to go to the Marin Country Mart. I don't want to go downtown anymore. Our San Francisco residents, I have said out there, I've said, give us 2 years and we're going to call our friends in Walnut Creek and San Jose and then Sonoma and say, hey, come visit us. Let's go shopping in Union Square. Let's go see a show and a movie. And they're going to say, okay. Because right now you ask them to come downtown. They're like, no, thank you. You come visit me. So we're going to create something called the Downtown San Francisco Development Corporation. We're going to get the best business leaders and civic leaders and people from my administration, and we're going to diversify downtown. We're going to get great minds and say, how do we bring business back? They did this, Iraq, after September 11, 2001 in New York. I was there that morning, and I can tell you, no one wanted to go back downtown New York City. Now you go back there, it's booming. And it's booming because they got business, they got arts and culture, they got housing, they got movie theaters, they got it all. It's a neighborhood. And so we got to think about making downtown a neighborhood again. Maybe not again, but we got to get creative because 9 to 5 is not enough anymore. But we got to also go out and bring business back. We got to bring conventions back. We got to bring sporting events. And by the way, we're doing that. I'm proud to be part of the Bay Area host committee. We got the NBA All-Star game coming in February.
Yes,
Super Bowl 60 coming back
I
in
love it.
2026.
And you had a big part in bringing Super Bowl 50 to the Bay Area, correct?
Mayor Ed Lee asked me to chair that bid, Iraq, and there was no sports authority in place. I had to start something from scratch, work closely with the Niners, work closely with Mayor Ed Lee, Mayor Liccardo in San Jose, Mayor Schaaf in Oakland. We brought the whole region together. We went up against Miami. We beat Miami. And we brought that game here, $240 million of economic revenue from that 1 week to our city and to our region. These three sporting events coming up, $1.4 billion of economic revenue. And it's going to help because
Incredible.
the eyes of the world are going to be on us again. And it's going to be a great time to be in San Francisco.
We touched upon, how we need to make things a community again. And, small businesses are the backbone of, these communities.
Yep.
What specific measures will you take to support and empower small businesses, making it easier for them to thrive in today's economic climate?
If you want to start a small business in San Francisco right now, you got to go through up to 8 different departments. Each one of them can take their time getting back to you. It could be you could start paying rent on a space, and you may not get word back from the city for 6 months, maybe 9 months, could be 12 months. I went to Pier 39 last week. I met with the team there. 85% of those businesses are family owned. If it turns over, they put in place, because they know the permitting process is so broken in City Hall and at the port, that they average it's going to take 12 months to get through permitting. That is disastrous. Who wants to go into a new space, pay rent for a year while waiting for the city to get back to them? So we are going to put a
I
shot
never
clock.
knew that.
It's crazy.
I never knew that.
We're going to put a shot clock on my department heads to get back to a applicant. We're going to have to get back to a small business applicant within 30 days. Shot clock on us, not on the small business. You'll be conditionally approved if you don't hear back from us. That's one example. I'll give you one other crazy story. Soft serve ice cream store in one neighborhood. I'm not going to name the neighborhood because there's get called out. He opened a 600 square foot space, 600 square feet. He had 40 inspections, including for a cash register.
Wow.
No one has cash registers anymore. You have a point of sale. The bureaucracy is killing our small business. We're going to streamline permitting. We're going to cut the red tape. And you can be sure we're going to stomp out the corruption.
I never knew these things, so I'm learning, as we, go on in this conversation as well. So that's great information. It's great information. I had a listener hit me up about education.
Okay.
She has a small family, a young family. Education is key to San Francisco's future. What role will the city government play in improving public schools? How would you expand opportunities for the youth, ensuring that they have the resources and support they need to succeed?
Uh, for us to be a world-class city, we need a world-class public education system. And SFUSD, the district, has been suffering from a crisis of leadership for far too long. Now, to be clear to everybody out there and all your listeners, the mayor does not have direct control over the district. We all elect an independent school board, and they hire and fire the superintendent. The superintendent just essentially was let go. Maria Sue has now become the interim superintendent. Looks like she wants the job full time. What you do have power as mayor is that you send $200 million a year of your taxpayer dollars to the district. Out of their $1.3 billion, 200 comes from the general fund. So there are going to be strings attached under my administration, making sure that everything is well run, it's efficient, and it's effective, and the money is actually getting to our teachers and to our students. Too much is getting stuck at the district level. I'm going to make sure that Muni has rapid bus lines, so it gets kids to and from school safely, that there's ambassadors on those buses, that we make sure that buses don't fly past our students full at 7:15 in the morning, and so our kids are late to school, which is happening all over our city. I talk to kids at Wash and at Lincoln, and they tell me these buses fly by them in the morning. Parents need to know their kids are going to be able to get to school on time. So I'm going to use departments that are under my purview, like Muni, like Department of Children, Youth, and Families, which I will use to make sure we surge resources to those public schools, so that parents can also look at the school as a sense of a place where they can go for CalFresh or Medi-Cal or mental health counseling. And so I'll do everything in my power. to make sure we focus on student outcomes, take care of our teachers, and increase um, SFUSD and make sure that they are taking care of our kids.
Before we're out of here, any last words to somebody that might be on the fence to vote for you, or they may not know who to vote for, like, or, somebody that may look at you running for mayor as something that's like, oh, well, he's never held public office
Yeah.
before, maybe they don't know your track record. What would be
Yeah.
like, something that you could tell these people like, hey, I could be that guy for you and I want to be that guy for you.
I I have the right experience, Erock, at the right moment for our city. I'm running against four city hall insiders that have built up a broken, ineffective, and corrupt city hall bureaucracy. They've had their chance. They've all been in office for nearly a decade or more, and look at the mess that our city is in. I have the right experience because I have a proven track record of getting big things done, like starting the largest, most innovative poverty fighting organization west of New York City. I started it with Ronnie Lott. It's called Tipping Point Community. We've raised over $500 million to tackle issues of poverty like housing, education, employment throughout the region. I brought Super Bowl 50 here. I've built housing on time and under budget. Uh, I've actually worked with every mayor since Gavin Newsom through to this one. I know how to get big things done. And what I'm asking people to look at their ballot and say, do I want change? Do I want accountable leadership? And there's only one choice if you want change, if you want accountability, and that's me. I hate to refer to myself like this, but you got to vote for Daniel Lurie if you want San Francisco to get back to being the greatest city in the world. The other folks I'm running against, they've had their chance. They're not bad people, but they have not delivered. And I will, and I'm going to practice the true version of public service, not for personal profit or gain, but Erock, I'm going to serve the people again. I'm going to serve our small businesses. I'm going to make sure that we keep our families safe and our elders safe. And I don't want to do anything else in politics. I've never been in politics. I'm coming at this with fresh eyes, and I want to serve the people, and I want to turn around our great American city. And I know we can do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only San Francisco mayoral candidate, Daniel Lurie. Thank you so much for pulling up on me. I really appreciate this. It's an honor to have this conversation. Like I said, I am a San Francisco native, born and raised, St. Luke's. My career was born in San Francisco. I ran some of the most successful nightclubs from Infusion Lounge to even Temple and a
No,
couple other places. So I have really
you
deep
care.
roots. I care. I
Yes,
care. And no matter what part of the country that I'm in, I let people know where I'm from. I'm always rooting for this city, to do well. And I
Iraq,
think,
Iraq. I can't tell you enough. We travel now. Now it's almost like we got to defend our city.
yeah,
We're gonna. By the time I'm done with 2 terms, we're gonna be shouting from the rooftops everywhere. I'm from San Francisco, and people are gonna be like, "Greatest city in the world. We got this. We can do this."
I love it. I love it. Yo, in closing, there's a quote that you say pretty often. What's the definition of insanity again? What is that? Because I think that just rings whenever I hear it.
I haven't said it for a little while. I did say it on the debate stage.
Yes.
But Iraq, the definition of insanity is electing the same people over and over again and expecting a different result. Uh, we need change, and I hope everybody puts Daniel Lurie as their first choice.
You heard it here. Let's go.
Iraq, let's go Niners. Let's get a win. Let's beat those Cowboys.
Absolutely. I'll actually be DJing the game. So if you pull up to the game, I'll be in the DJ booth. So
Let's
come and say
go.
hi.
Let's go.